What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich, back to bring you your MLB props for June the 24th. We have a great slate of games today. I'm super excited for it, and so let's just dive right into it now. And let's start actually with the weather report for today, going from Kevin Roth from Roto Grinders. There's a small concern with the Dodgers-Atlanta game in Atlanta today. There's potential for thunderstorms there, a delay or even a postponement is possible. And then as well, Colorado, Minnesota, there's a few pop-up showers there, and he says there could be a delay, but he doesn't really expect one. Now that does come into our plays today a little bit. So let's dive into those and let's talk about these guys I'm liking for today. And let's start right at the top. Anthony Rizzo, CJ Crone, Jordan Alvarez, Freddie Freeman, Danby Swanson, Aaron Judge, and Giancarlo Stanton. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, Jordan, like, dude, what are you doing? You got, all these guys against Justin Verlander, front runner for the Cy Young, all these things. I mean, frankly, I don't really care. I don't know if I care to go against Justin Verlander. You see the pitch factor 1.22. He's not been pitching the best. Just got smashed in his last start. I don't know. He's been fine. He's been great to start the season, but going against a lot of bad teams. He started off super hot, then gets just crushed by Seattle, comes back, redeems himself against them a little bit, has a couple easy starts again against Oakland, but now he's got to come to New York. Now he has to play the Yankees, the best team in baseball right now. I'm not buying it, man. I don't think I'm in on Verlander today. I'm not saying that you should fade him, but when you see Anthony Rizzo, who is averaging 10 points per game, has a 5.5 line, and he's got the P-Val advantage. I mean, what's the reason for me not to take Verlander or not to take Rizzo against Verlander? There's just not a lot. Like, he's just been so good. One of the big concerns is he's not getting a ton of hits. He's been walking pretty well, strikes out a little bit. He's selling out for the power in New York, but it's working out for him. He's scoring a ton of points for us. He's getting a ton of bases, which is great. Scoring runs, RBIs. There's lots of things to like with Rizzo, and obviously batting behind Judge is a very fruitful place to be. No history against Verlander, but I think overall, man, it's very difficult to ignore the Yankees today. I'm not saying you got to play them all, but let's say you wanted to go with a play of Rizzo, Judge, Stanton, and Jordan Alvarez. It could hit, and I think it's got a pretty good shot, honestly. But so let's dive into CJ Crone, who's second on my list, projected for 13 points with a line of 7. CJ Crone is literally trifecta. You got P-Val advantage, you got pitch factor advantage, you got park advantage, and you have a BVP advantage. He's got 3 homers and 17 at-bats against Dylan Bundy. He's averaging 15 points over his last 7 days, 10 points over his last 14 days. Last time I took Crone, wasn't the best matchup against Pablo Lopez. Today, we have a much better matchup against a way worse pitcher in Dylan Bundy. I think this is a absolute smash spot for Crone. If you want to bet him to hit a home run, you want to bet him for RBIs, you want to bet him for total bases, I think this is just the perfect storm for CJ Crone. I think he's going to smash in this spot. I love him in this format. And overall, I think the PrizePicks line of a hitter fantasy score of 7, way too low. I mean, overall, Minnesota, it's a fine ballpark. You can get a lot of doubles and triples. They do have a slight, short porch in right field. I mean, there's just a lot of things to like with Minnesota. And even on the other side, Minnesota's bats look pretty good too against Colorado, but CJ Crone just popped in every single thing that I look at in this model. There's just so much to like with him right now. He's averaging over a hit per game, 2.5 total bases, almost a run per game, RBI per game, extra base hit, over half an extra base hit. It's just, CJ Crone, balling right now. So many things to like with him. He is definitely a core play for me. Another guy I think is worth consideration of a core play, Jordan Alvarez, up against Luis Severino today in New York. This dude is insanely hot. I swear the only day I didn't take him, he didn't hit. But ever since then, Jordan Alvarez has been on fire. Player of the week, probably going to be player of the month again. 13 points over his last 14 days. 18 points over his last 7 days. 2 home runs just a few days ago. I mean, man, 3 total bases per game, 1.5 RBIs per game. Think 1.5 RBIs per game. And his PrizePicks line is only 7 because he's up against Severino. I'm sorry, man. This game, you can project it for a 3-2 close matchup. I just can't do it. Severino has not been pitching at his best right now. He didn't play well against Toronto in his last start. He's racking up a ton of strikeouts, and maybe he'll get some today. But the Astros are one of the best hitting lineups in the league, and they're getting hot right now. Bregman is hitting. Altuve is hitting. Jordan is playing out of his mind. There's just so many reasons to like this matchup from both sides, and I just think the pitchers are not going to be up to snuff. Verlander up against the hot Yankee lineup, and now Severino kind of okay. He hasn't been at his best up against a very hot Houston lineup. I would be playing Alvarez for sure. I think he's worthy of consideration. Again, the modest total, how hot he is. There's just so many things to like with Jordan Alvarez today. I just love it. I think he's in a great spot. I think he's going to be a smash play. And overall, I just love him. I think he's really worthy of consideration. I think pairing him with Crone is great. But I also like Freddie Freeman. You know, Freddie Freeman for the past few days in Cincinnati has been going over every day. I'm pretty sure he's homered each of the last 2 games. Now he's in Atlanta. Now, like I mentioned, there are some weather concerns here. But up against Ian Anderson, who hasn't done much of anything, he's got a line of 8. You got the 14.5 projection almost for him. No history against Anderson, so nothing really there. But just so many things to like from Freeman lately. He started off kind of slow, but ever since Mookie got hurt, Freeman just put the team on his back. Him, Will Smith, and Trey Turner have all been just balling. You see Bellinger's hitting home runs. The Dodgers are just flying right now, and I think it's going to continue again tonight. They're in Atlanta, so again, ballpark factor is slightly in his favor, and obviously never hurts to return home. I think Freddie's going to want to put on a show for the Atlanta fans. I think he's going to be jacked up to play in Atlanta. He's a guy that will definitely be a core play with Crone, and then I think Alvarez is definitely in consideration for that as well. And then same thing with Danby Swanson right on the other end. Danby Swanson's been super hot, hit 2 home runs just a few days ago, or might have even been yesterday, up against Julio Urias. Now, he doesn't have a hit against Urias in 3 at-bats. Urias has been, up and down this season, started off really, really poorly. Still hasn't quite got all the way back, but he when he's on, he can be very, very good. But Swanson, run per game, 1.6 hits per game, over 3 total bases per game. Again, just insanely hot. 13 points over his last 7 days and 14 over his last 14 days. So much like with Swanson right now, just playing out of his mind. Projection of 7 on PrizePicks and an 11.5 or almost a 12 projection for me and my system. So overall, do like Swanson a lot. And then to round it out, the 2 studs, man, just the 2 guys that can go yard on any given night. Aaron Judge up against Verlander, like I mentioned. Now, the P-Val factor is very much in Judge's favor, 2.7. Not so much for Stanton, who's been really struggling lately, and that's worth pointing out. Stanton has not been very good, especially from the hits department. Pretty much the only thing he's doing is hitting home runs. If he's not getting a home run, he's not getting a hit. And so that's kind of the concern with Stan, but he's only a 5.5 projection, so you do get it at a pretty significant discount. Aaron Judge is at a 7. As we know, Aaron Judge has basically been living at 8.5 so far if you've been tracking Aaron Judge, so getting Aaron Judge even against Verlander at 7. Now, the other concern is the history. Neither has a very good history against Verlander, but this is a much different Verlander that they're getting today than they've been seeing in the past. He just hasn't been as sharp as he's been in the past. Yes, he's been on this Cy Young campaign, but overall, he hasn't been his best version of himself, and this guy they see today will be a little bit different. But overall, those are the core plays I'm playing today. I love CJ Crone, I love Jordan, I love Freeman, and I'd be willing to sprinkle in some of the other guys. I like Rizzo as well. The hits per game are kind of concerning for me, but I would be willing to run the risk. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you drop me a like if you like this video and subscribe for future content. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Good luck tonight. Let's win some money. I'm out. Peace.